this is better. Hi, I'm Gina, and if you are new here, you don't know who I am. I'm a registered nutritional therapist, and I have wanted to be a meal prep girly for so long. Like, I always kind of try and do it, but I get so bored of having the same meals all the time. However, I find that if I haven't had like anything prepped, then I end up reaching for meals that are less balanced. Maybe there's not a good source of plant protein in them. Maybe I'll just have like a bagel or something, which is totally fine, but it doesn't really align with my goals. I think I finally cracked the code. The secret is ingredient prep. And today I'm going to take you with me and show you everything that I ingredient prepped for me and my fiance for a whole week. I'll put all the recipes on the screen and in the caption. Some of them are on my Instagram as well. And then I also filmed what I ate in a week, so when I edit that as well, I can show you exactly how I used all of that meal prep. Okay, let's get into it. The first tip I have, which I tell everyone, is to get yourself some glass meal prep jars. Now, not only are they better for the environment than the plastic, but they don't like leach chemicals into your food, which is, you know, problematic for one thing, but also makes your food taste like meal prepped. If you have glass containers, that kind of flavour doesn't happen. It doesn't taste meal prepped. It also feels like a bit luxurious. Like, eating out of plastic containers all week doesn't feel good to me. Whereas when I've got like a nice, you know, meal prepped little glass jars, I feel like I'm on top of things. I've got my life together. The plastic pots is giving, I've thrown this in a takeout container. But for me, it helps me to actually want to do it right. I want to use those meal prep containers, and then I want to eat the food in it. When it's in plastic, I don't. Now we've sorted out equipment, let's get into everything that I meal prep. So the first thing that I prepped is ginger shots. Now, you absolutely do not need ginger shots. Not everyone needs them. I just really felt like my digestion needed a bit of a boost this week for some reason. And ginger is a gut motility agent. Basically, just means it helps to stimulate that kind of muscle movement of helping move things through your gut. So I have this juicer. I juiced a load of ginger, popped it into ginger shots. I think I added some celery in there just to bulk it up, so I had enough for, I think, 5 days. So that's really great to have on hand. So the next thing that I prepped is a kiwi chia pudding. You could have this as like a breakfast option. I personally had it as like a starter or kind of a pre-workout. Like I said, my gut, I felt like my digestion needed a bit of a boost this week. So I made this to have first thing in the morning, empty stomach, fill it up with lots of soluble fibre from the chia seeds and the kiwi, give it that little bit of help. Then also I had some fuel when I went to the gym too. If you want to make this slightly higher in protein, you could add some protein powder in here. I used a soya yogurt, so there was some protein in that, and also some live cultures to help, you know, give my gut that extra little boost. A staple that you need to prep when you are ingredient prepping is a form of a protein. So something that you can really quickly add to your meals. So like I said, if I haven't meal prepped, that's when I tend to have these less balanced plates. So having a prepped protein is kind of the key thing that I need to make sure that all of my plates are balanced throughout the week. This week I made a chickpea tuna. And regardless of your dietary situation, I really recommend prepping a plant-based protein, because that tends to be what people struggle to get into their diet. And these are the things that have been proven time and time again to improve our longevity. They're packed with lots of fibre. They're going to help you live longer, help support your health. So if you've got that prepped, it's going to be much easier for you to add to salads, add to meals throughout the week. And if you just prep one recipe, make it a plant-based protein, it could literally extend your life. I've actually never eaten tuna in my life, so I'm not going to taste compare. But I use these boiled beans, which, oh my god, they're so good. I don't understand how they've made beans taste better. I don't understand how they've made plain beans taste amazing. Added some celery in there as well, so I've got some veggies. And this made up the bulk of my lunches throughout the whole week. I could have it in different ways. I could have it in a salad. I could have it in like a bowl with a whole grain. I think a lot of the time I ended up popping it inside some nori and making like a big wrap with it, basically. The next thing I made was a cashew spinach dressing. So when you are doing ingredient prepping something tasty, a dressing or a sauce is absolutely key to making the habit stick. To make a habit stick, it needs to be enjoyable. You need to be motivated to do it. And especially when it comes to eating healthy, we want this to be a lifestyle, right? We're eating for our long-term health. it needs to be enjoyable. We're gonna have to do it all the time, so we need tasty meals. And making a dressing or a sauce is a really quick, easy way of making something like a salad really, really delicious. The simplest of all the ingredient prep is just chop up some veggies. Sometimes that limiting step of eating a healthy meal is just chopping up the vegetables. Sometimes it makes a mess. You can't be bothered. Chop up your veggies. All you've got to do is add a handful to, you know, a tray, roast them, boil them up, steam them, air fry them, whatever. This week I took it down to the most basic level and I just chopped and washed some spinach, what is it called? Lettuce. So I could grab a handful, already ready to go, add it to my meals, make a salad super quick. These kale crisps, chips, whatever you want to call them, they were supposed to be a snack for the week. Full disclosure, me and my fiance just devoured them immediately after I cooked them. So these were not really meal prepped. These were just a snack for that night. Super impressed with these because I managed to make them high in protein and relatively low in fat. The trick for doing that is I used nutritional yeast and a powdered peanut butter to make like a dressing. Usually if you're making kale chips, they're made with oil, which I don't tend to really cook with, or you're kind of blending up cashew nuts to make a cheesy kind of coating, like batter, and I couldn't be bothered to do that. Right, I've already made a cashew dressing. I'm done blending today. So basically just chucked everything in a bowl, massaged it all together, roasted it on a really low temperature so that it didn't burn. Despite the colour, they're not burnt. They were really tasty, and they turned out really yum. Lastly, I also made this sweet treat, like little protein balls. These are exactly the kind of snack when people come online and they comment, they're like, oh, just have a chocolate bar, just have something else. And I really don't think that these people have ever made anything from scratch, like made foods like this, because they are so delicious. I would rather have these than a chocolate bar. And then not only that, they're also nourishing my body and they make me feel good. They don't make me feel like shit a few minutes later. You know, your body knows, your body understands what foods are good for it and what foods aren't. And then also these are genuinely really, really tasty. And that is everything that I meal prepped for an entire week. I also filmed everything that I ate that week after, so you will be able to see exactly how I incorporated all of those things into my meals throughout the week. But until then, nourish your body, protect your peace, take really, really good care of yourself, because your life very well might depend on it.